Okay, my name is Duncan Fowler, and this is a FlexSim tutorial booklet number 9, Advanced, where we're going to investigate dashboards within FlexSim, and we're going to be using FlexSim 2020. Just a very quick look at how things are going to look. We're going to have a very basic model with a source, a queue, the queue going off to a processor, and we're going to use an operator between those two. We're going to then have the processor going to combiner. Combiner is going to have a separate source as a palette. And then the combiner is going to go to a separator and split off to two queues. And we're going to have a second operator between the combiner and the separator. We've got some basic information there. It's less to do with the settings of the machines, more to do with the dashboard. And then we're going to create some dashboard entries to see what sort of data we can get off. Let's have a look. Moving down, we'll do a quick example of using charts, bar charts, etc. Pinning to the dashboard and looking at how sources work and operators, how far they travel. This was taken from a YouTube video, which the link is at the bottom if you want to look at the original one. Okay, right, let's get going. Let's start with FlexSim, and let's start a new model. And we're going to use minutes instead of seconds. Okay. And then let's bring in a source. We know we need a second source for the combiner. We want a queue at the beginning, and we want two queues at the end. Let's move it up a bit. We need a processor, and then a combiner, and then we need a separator at the end. Let's just move them a little bit further away. And then we need two operators. Okay, so I'm going to remember to make sure I connect the first source to the combiner. That's going to be the palette, so I'm going to do that straight away. And then I'm going to do the source to the queue, queue to the processor, processor to the second port of the combiner, combiner to separator, separator to the two queues. I also am going to connect the first operator to the queue and to the processor, and then the second operator to the combiner and the separator. We've been given some settings, so let's work through them. The first one, let's go to the source. Inter-arrival time is just going to be 10. Apply. Okay. Let's go to Q1. Maximum content is going to be 20. And we know we've connected the operator, so we've got a center port connection, so we're going to use that. Apply. Okay. Let's go to the processor now and change the processor time to 15, and we're going to use the operator for this process, and again we've got it connected to the center port. Go to the combiner. Processor time is 10, that's fine. And let's go to the combiner section, port 2, which is coming from the processor. We're going to change that to 4. I will have it conveying across the model. So look, and flow, and we're going to use a transporter, which is the operator 2. Separator. Oh, there we go. Processor time of 10 and let's use the operator to do that. Apply and OK. Which changes second source from a box to a palette. Apply and OK. I'm just going to change Q2's name just to palettes. That's where we want the palettes to end up at the end. Okay, so I'm going to now change the speed of the operators, operator 1 and 2, 120, what's that, 120 meters a minute. I'm just going to change that to 10, just slow them right down. We'll click on the bottom one to go to operator 2 and change that to 10 as well. Apply and OK. I'll just make sure everything runs. So it's coming along, putting 4 boxes on there. And it's split off OK because it's probably flow separator options, so it's defaulting to a first object, which is the palette going to export to port 2, and then that one, and the boxes go in there. So it's fortunate that everything's worked out fine for that. So I'm just going to turn it right round, because just for visuals. If you don't like it like that, what you can do is reset view. That gets us an absolute square on view, and don't like that at all. I'm going to leave it at that and just put it to the side. Might have to move it because when you create dashboards it seems to squish things. So let's add a dashboard. Yeah, there you go, it's moved it already. It's quite a thin model, so we want to use as much screen space as possible for the dashboard. So make sure you've got a good amount of space here. Right. Okay, if you should notice that when you click on the dashboard, the library menu down the left-hand side changes. If you click on the model view, it changes as well back to features that you need for the modeling or features you need for the dashboard. So the first thing I'm going to do is drag across the stay time option. If you can't find things, you can scroll down. Stay time. I'm going to get the state time pie chart, which still looking for it. There we go, state time pie chart. Yeah, we'll use that one. Let's drag it on there, and we get the pop-up menu system, pie chart. I'm just going to stop the model reset to see what we set. Okay, I can see the 2 operators now. So I want to add the operator in there, and then the second operator in there. If you don't like using that, you can always just use the plus and select objects from that menu. Make sure that the idle is utilized. We kind of like to see what's happening with the idle, and the color sets are here. So you'll see all of this. If it's blocked, we're not using the blocked at the moment, but this is telling us what is visible in our pie chart. Now let's go to the settings tab. I'm going to change the outer radius to 75. It gives a little bit nicer, and the thickness to 15. I'm going to change the title to operators. Let's apply it. Oh, it doesn't like the under. Just change it fully to the operators. And okay. Let's move that up there. We're going to be moving these around quite a bit. Let's just stop, reset, and run. You can see what's happening here. You can see operated to. He spent a lot of time waiting for the first box to come along, and then eventually it kicks in. We can see it's being used now. It's next to the separator doing that. It will be called back, and it'll so we can see that operator 1 is being utilized quite a lot, and operator 2 isn't. Okay, I will now drag the state bar chart across. Just move it into place a little bit. Let's get the processor, the combiner, and the separator. And for one of these, I'm just going to change the idle time to utilize, and it should update for all of them. Yes, it does. I'm going to change the title, because these are also forms of processing, so I'll just change that to processing and apply and say OK. Right. Now what we're going to do is going to do a different way of creating objects on the dashboard. I'm just going to select the queue. I'm going to go to the statistics at the top right hand corner and set the pin next to content. So where are we? So we've got content, the pin, and pin to dashboard, and we want content versus time. Just double click on here, and let's redo this. This is for Q1. I'm just going to copy that, apply, and say OK. So that's for Q1. Let's see if we can shrink these up a bit, maybe get a bit more space. Let's click on that's content versus time, so we'll do it again. This is Q. This is actually the palettes, isn't it? So apply, and let's click on the final one, content versus time. And this is Q3, and apply that. Right, what I'm going to do is see if I can squeeze these things all in there. Let's get this one across a little bit. Can we get some more space in here? So that's, move these around because I like them to be next to each other. Can I squeeze that a bit more? Looks as though I can. OK. Now we select the source, and we've got the quick properties again, and next to the state. And what we want to do is find out when it's generating flow items and when it's blocked. So let's click on that. Let's do a pie chart, and that, double click on that. We know that this is a for source 1. Settings. So we've got settings to outer radius 100 and inner to 25. That seems okay. And say apply and OK. Now let's see if we can squeeze this on. Yeah, running out of bits there, so I'm going to have to see if that looks okay. It's getting a bit squidgy in there, getting a bit tight. So source 1 is generating quite well. If we then start cranking things up a little bit, we can see it's starting to block. Right. And you would expect the palettes and queues to be such a uniformly sort of increasing. You can see what's happening here for Q1, and it quickly hits its capacity and flattens off. Stop and reset. We'd like to know a little bit more about these operators. So let's select one. So I've selected that. Don't know. It's a bit hard to see if I've selected them. There we go. Right. And let's do this is operator 1, and we'd like to know how far this operator travels. Total travel operator 1, and I'm going to have to change it, do this for the next one as well, so I'll copy paste it, so apply and OK. I think we're going to have to squeeze that up a bit, give us a bit more room, kind of like everything being a one screen. Let's select the second one, total travel time, sorry, travel distance. Oh, there we go, looking where it was there for a second or two. Let's double click on it. Apply and OK. See if we can give us a little bit more room. There we go. Just tidy it up a little bit, make it look a little bit more uniformed. Let's stop after 10,000. Reset and run and see what happens. So we can see operator 1 is idle for a high percentage of time. If you actually go over, you can see that it's idle 83% of the time. It's actually utilized 14%, which is considerably different to operator 2. You can see that we've got a blockage for 38% of the time for the source. You can see what's happening in these processors. So you can processor 1 is being used for 88.7% of the time. Combiner is collecting stuff and is processing 14%. And you can see very quickly you can get an enormous amount of data quite easily by either using the features that come in the with the library, or by simply selecting an object and using the quick properties drawing pins down the side. Okay, I hope that was useful to you guys. Thank you very much.